What is up, y'all? It's Grant with another episode of the Gooey Files. Today, I got with me Paragon,
Yo, it's Paragon Don.
and we have a special guest with us today. We got Jemay with me. Jemay was on the committee for my for the Gooey Files Award. She took part in the voting process. I appreciate her a lot. What's up, Jemay?
Hi everyone, I'm Jemay. Glad to be here.
All right, so this episode's topic is the current state of women in rap. First thing I want to go off of is who are we the most excited for going into next year for in terms of women in rap? I know Glorilla has something big planned. Because she currently, I don't know if it already came out, but she has like her Mulatto and Gangsta Boo have a song coming out. And for those people who know me, I love LaChat and I love Gangsta Boo. So I'm very excited about that. I think I want Monaleo to have a really good 2023. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's Monaleo.
Monaleo. Flo Milli, of course, I love her album this year, especially like the rollout for it and it kind of being like a TV theme. That's me. Those are my three off the top of my head. Y'all aren't limited to a number, so y'all can just state whoever y'all feel like is gonna have a good 2023 and who you're most impressed with this year.
Jemay, would you like to go first?
Sure. As a resident No Name stan, she's dropping an album next year, so I'm very excited for that. In terms of everybody else, I don't know. I like that everybody's been dropping new music. This year, I really liked Latto's album. I actually really liked Meg's album too. I feel like for a lot of people, it came and went because it wasn't her usual formula, but I thought it was a really, really good album. Obviously Glorilla, and also I guess they're called Glitter Gang, Aliza, Cimarrone, all of them. I'm looking forward to them too. I don't know if they're gonna drop like a group project, but that would be cool to see.
For me, of course, I'd have to agree with No Name. That's been one of my favorite rappers for a very long time. She really, I've been missing her. She put J. Cole in a blender and then disappeared. So I'm glad to see that she is still deciding to do music because she has been doing a lot of great things for the world. And she could very well have just been like, oh, I'm not doing this no more. Now I understood. So it's hard not to say Glorilla just because of the run that she's been on. I'm very excited for her career trajectory. Rico Nasty, of course, that is another one of my favorite rappers. She just put out a snippet of her rapping over a sample from Get Your Freak On by Missy Elliott. And I usually don't like when people sample stuff like that, but it sounded really good. And I like Hook, I'm really excited for. Doechii, I'm excited for. Baby Africa, and and then all the Glitter Gang, Gloss Up, Alizier, Slimeroni, K Carbon. I think they are fantastic individually and even better together. And I think I've always said I think group rap is harder than individual because everyone has to show up. So the fact that all the time all of them show up is very impressive.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Donovan. Everybody, that's what one thing Glorilla was talking about when she first started rapping, wanting to rap. She was like, hey, I want to start a rap group, but y'all gotta take it serious. And it's glad to see them go through with it fully. But I want to circle back to No Name. No Name is such an interesting rapper to me because she's always kind of been painted as this pull. I hate to use it. Well, like, of course, I believe all hip hop is political in some sense, but she's always been painted as some super duper. The only thing I talk about is politics type of rapper, but I have seen her get dizzy on track multiple times and cook somebody multiple times. Like she can tap into the pocket where, like, if she needs to, like, if she's like competing with somebody, she can definitely tap into that pocket. And I think for this next album, I really don't know what to expect in terms of, I don't know what to expect from her. I just know that it's going to be greatly written. It's been for pretty much 5 years since the last one, since Room 25. I will hope for, I do want some Ghetto Sage on the album. But if we don't get any, I'm not unhappy. Uh, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually think this album might, I guess I don't really know the directions that she's going in because I feel like her tweets are always all over the place. But I feel like this album will be more political than any of her other work, which I look forward to. Like, I really loved Rainforest when it came out. I can like listen to that song on repeat for sure. And I think that matches kind of the direction that she's gone in. And so I would really enjoy more of that. So for people to say that like she's a political rapper, I don't really think so. I mean, I think if I had to describe her, I guess pre people, like, I guess, finding out about her Twitter and the book club thing, I would just think that she's pretty sad. Like most of her stuff is pretty like, are you okay? And I think that's kind of what I like about her most, is that like it's very somber, but I don't know. I'm okay before anybody asks. Yeah, I don't know. I am really excited to see the direction that she goes in, and also if she has Simon, and them on it, because I think she does make really good tracks with them. I don't think they've had a miss yet. So
I agree. I would say I was going to agree to all those points. I'm sorry, Donovan.
Oh no, my fault. What I was gonna say is, I mean, No Name doesn't really strike me as a rapper that's gonna like make something that I'm terribly surprised about. But I know it's gonna be good regardless. Like Jemay said, she's definitely more like somber than political. She can be political, but even so, I think the thing that impresses me the most about No Name is with even with her subject matter, the music is still really good. Like it's really hard to have the subject matter she has and not come off as preachy or corny or something. Like with her rapping about like blackness and like death in Chicago and like all these other things, like unfortunately that type of stuff musically can come off very like, I don't really know. Like there's a lot of rappers who are very rap like that. And it's hard to make a song with that subject matter sound good. But she's so good at resonating without it sounding stale or like it's not coming from the right place. So yeah, I'm very excited for her project. It's been a while since she dropped the song, let alone a project. So I know she's gonna come through as always. No matter what type of style she does, whether it be something more somber or something like Ace, which I still think is one of like the greatest verses ever.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think that was easily the highlight of her last album for me. So next thing, do we think that what do we think of the current state of female rap? So I'll go on record and say this, and I'm set to support on my Twitter. Um, not trying to get in some like a competition or anything like that, but I'll go on record and say this: female rappers have to pay attention to stuff that male rappers don't have to, due to a necessity. And just like, for instance, some people have music that just markets itself in that it's automatically gonna have a widespread appeal no matter what. And due to we're still kind of working through the notion that only one female rapper can thrive at the top. Granted, okay, it's not really like fully like that right now, but y'all kind of get what I'm saying, where we're on the decline from getting rid of that narrative. And I said this when Flo Milli's album came out. Women have to pay more attention to their rollouts and actually promote stuff, whereas males can kind of just be like, okay, this is my new project dropping tomorrow. Y'all go get that. Okay, I'm done. And I think like the art of an actual rollout and like promoting yourself, it's just something. It's still in a streaming era in streaming and social media era where we have something that's constantly in, that we have constant visibility. I think that goes underappreciated. Like I don't know about y'all, but I love me a good rollout. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like it's like okay, I want to listen to this. It gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think rollouts are one of the more important things for artists, especially when they're not established. You have to give people something to look forward to. As far as like the state of women rap, I would compare it a lot to the WNBA, and it's like the quality is there and the product is certainly there, but anytime there's a low light, it's going to be amplified way more than any man. Like when a woman doesn't, of course, like when a man doesn't sell well, people gonna make jokes or whatever. But like when women don't sell well, it's way more of a thing, no matter the context. When they don't sound good, it gets amplified more, no matter the context. If they, make a bad song or make a bad album, or like they do a live performance and it doesn't sound good. Like all these things get amplified way more because they are women, which is very unfortunate. So that's really what I would compare that to. It's certainly not fair. I think we're getting closer to that not being as big of a deal, but I think I feel like rap as a whole is in its best era, just with as much availability it has. So in turn, I think female rap is in the best place that it's ever been, with just how many options are in the limelight. And there's so many different types, and all of them sound so much different than the other. So I think it's in a really good place. It just needs the fairness that the men have.
How do you feel, Jemay?
I definitely agree with Don a lot, especially the WNBA comparison. Like, it's just like so spot on. And it is super unfortunate that it seems like that women have to be like, it's always like it has to be one at a time. And I think just because, there was a point where it was just one, right? But so you see people doing that now, like now that Glorilla's out, like she's been getting a lot of attention and et cetera, and that's great. I love that for Glorilla, but it's like you can't also love Meg Thee Stallion, or you can't also love Flo Milli, or you can't also love Doechii. It's just like people are so one track minded when it comes to women in rap, which it doesn't really make sense, because it's like you can enjoy more than one thing at a time, So I think it's super unfortunate, but I think to me, this is kind of why I make it a priority to kind of listen to. I feel like I mostly listen to women rap, because again, there is so much variety out there, and they don't sound alike. I mean, Lotto and Megan kind of do the same thing. They kind of got a similar lane, but Doechii don't sound like none of them. Doja don't sound like none of them. Like it's so many ways that they can go, and like the vibes that they create. It's just so much availability out there that I don't know. I feel like whenever I have the opportunity, I'll try to listen to them or like big ups, different artists I find, because I don't know, I think that kind of helps too when people realize, okay, yeah, you can like Glorilla and Meg Thee Stallion. You don't have to, be a stan and only like one of them. So, but I'm not even gonna stan culture, but yeah.
I don't even think that's stan culture. I think, well, I take that back. You're right. It is. And this person who shall not be named kind of really pushed the notion, or this person and their fans kind of pushed, like really kind of reinforce the notion that, okay, there can only be one female rapper that's on top and nobody else can really thrive. And then you have Cardi B come along and kind of like, okay, I had a really great album in 2018. I dropped it did like 400K copies first week. And then the rest is kind of history, and you see like all these other female rappers step up, kind of like, hey, I can thrive too. I don't have to hate you to be successful. And I don't think I'll say this, they never did. Like, I just hate the notion that all female rappers like hate each other, and we try to act like men don't do the same. Like, people always talking about, okay, female rappers, y'all need to get in the booth and y'all diss when somebody dissing y'all. Male rappers don't do that anymore. I haven't seen a diss well, you have some certain cases, but on an overall standpoint, if somebody throws shots at somebody on a track, they're either just gonna address it in like 2 or 3 stanzas on another song. There's no formal diss track anymore. So it's just like a lot of the double kind of like the hypocrisy for me. Like, I just don't really agree with it. But my final thing is not my final thing, but who do we think is the current best woman rapper right now? I'm gonna have to go with Doja is an easy pick, but I'm not gonna go with her just yet because I'm waiting for her album with the Ninth Wonder side, or like the rap side, the full rap side to drop. Even though the influence is there, and then she's a really great artist. I want to say, I do want to see what Glorilla has planned. I really can't think right now. Do y'all have any picks?
As far as right now, I feel like it's either so I would say it's either No Name or Flo Milli. Glorilla is wonderful. It's just I don't think it's like a lot that she has right now. I mean, she did just drop this EP. She has her singles. It's kind of hard for me to say like, oh, she's the best female rapper out right now, and she only has an EP. But the quality is certainly there with her. But I mean, No Name, the career kind of speaks for itself. I think Rico is up there just because of how long she's really been able to do her thing. And yeah, I think that who I would say right now.
Yeah, I'd actually go back and agree. I lied. It's No Name. It's No Name. Jemay, how do you feel?
I want to pick No Name. because the work is there. But I guess if I had to pick somebody else, I might have to pick Doechii because I feel like, I mean, she hasn't really gotten a lot of shine, but the versatility, the bars, the visuals, like the girl is a full package. And like she just released an EP not too long ago that I really enjoyed. I don't know. I think she maybe she put out an album. She'll it'll be her for sure. But like she's definitely like one of my top three picks.
Oh, if Doechii give me a whole album, she gonna have to be in that conversation because she is amazing.
I think I agree with you. I agree with y'all. Like, yeah, I need a full LP from her. My next portion was gonna be like kind of like takes I want to get off. My first take I want to get off is that y'all give to all people watching. Y'all are really corny about Meg Thee Stallion, and I mean extremely corny. And I say this why it's kind of like y'all. It's always people who don't really listen to her music in the first place, wanting to know what they want from her. Like y'all aren't even Meg fans saying, or like even like remotely like her music talking about, yeah, she need to do this, she need to do that. I'm like, for instance, somebody coming from me, I ain't a diehard Meg fan, but I ain't gonna say I don't like her music. Like I really love her very first EP, where she kind of had a mix of the lanes of she could tap into, like Cognac Queen, and then the big mainstream appeal hit. But yeah, y'all don't, and also I'm gonna say this too. Y'all gotta stop clowning first week sales, especially for anybody that isn't a superstar. Because number one, just because they don't sell a lot first week doesn't mean they're not successful. I can name a ton of people that don't sell a lot first week, but have fans that actually buy their music and come to their shows, and they're just fine. So let's start right there. Secondly, that's all I had to say about Meg, actually. But last thing, for female rap right now, I would say if anybody deserves their flowers, it's truly Gangsta Boo and LaChat, off the top of my head. And just, I want to say Tennessee in general. Like Tennessee is just, they're really, from historical context and a current context, they've been like a really prominent city in rap for like the past 3 or 4 years. There's so much that doesn't happen without the 3-6 Mafia camp entirely. So I wanted to give a shout out to them. Probably my favorite rap group ever. So those are only two takes I had to get off. Donovan and Jemay, do y'all have any takes that y'all want to get off?
My take is that I think that Cardi B is the greatest thing to happen to female rap in the last, like, I don't know, like 20 years, maybe 30, maybe since the first like mainstream female rapper, like Queen Latifah and MC Lyte and all of them. Just the fact that she who shall not be named was like the only person in the spotlight for so long, and then Cardi came in and dropped I'm pretty sure it went platinum, this platinum album, and like one kind of showed that other female rappers can thrive, not only mainstream but in general. But two, like, she's always so receptive of the other women around her. Like I've never seen her not show love when she can. And that has just opened the doors for so many of these people that we are listening to now, and people that have been able to get shine recently. And she's always so, it seemed like she's open to do, like, working and doing features and whatnot. Like, it's just beautiful to see the doors that she's opened and kind of what we're getting out of it.
Yeah, I still want to say that female rap looks, that's probably one of the most drastic changes to female rap I have. That's probably one of the most drastic changes in rap period in the past couple of years. Probably in like I'd say like in a decade. Just, and she just basically showed that you could actually uplift it. Uplifting people doesn't stop your shine. Like, for instance, Tomorrow 2, both of them got equal amount of praise for the song. Like, it wasn't like even, or I didn't really even see like a bunch of like trying to put Glorilla and Cardi B like against each other. Like, it was a bunch of uplifting each other and saying, hey, we can still have fun, we can still be competitive, and we can still uplift each other. So it was good to see. Jemay, do you have any type of take that you want to get off?
Y'all had all these very like serious, like correct, incorrect hot takes. I don't know how to follow that up, but I will say my hot take is that Good News by Meg Thee Stallion was a great album, and we need to put some respect on it because I'm tired. And that's my hot take.
I'm perfectly fine that. If we're talking about Meg, I would just like to say, I think Meg is really good. Along with the conversation we were having about like women not really being allowed to fail, I think she's really a product of that. Like, even when it's not like everything Meg drops I really like love, but I feel like a lot of male rappers are able to drop average projects, and because there's like 3 or 4 hot songs on it, people will be like, oh, this project was amazing. But when it comes to people like Meg, it's, if Meg drops a 18 track album and 8 of them are really good and 8 of them are mediocre, it's gonna get slandered a lot more than if a man drops a 20 track album and only like 5 of them are good.
That's one thing I will say, is that the worst, so many male rappers in 2022 have what I like to call on a mainstream level, the bare minimum success formula. Dropping enough. They drop a bunch of 6.5 and 6 point, like a bunch of 6.5 out of 10 albums, and they're enough to keep you engaged, but not enough to be considered good or great bodies of work. But they have this hit sprinkled in there to be like, okay, I see what you're doing with this. And then the next track is, okay, my interest is gone, and my interest is gone, my interest is gone. And then you come back, okay, this is a hit. And it's like that over and over and over. That's honestly how I felt about Lil Baby's last album. I'm not gonna say Lil Baby is who I'm exactly talking about, because I like the majority of his music outside of this last album. So I will say that. But yeah, I agree with you. The lack of grace I do think there's a lack of grace for mainstream rappers that are males that aren't in the superstar the superstar tier, but I think it is way worse for female rappers, period.
The girls aren't allowed to be mid. Sometimes
you can't be.
The mid should be allowed sometimes, because sometimes mid is necessary. You need mid to compare other stuff too. I feel like the girls should be allowed to be mid, and they're not allowed
to. This is what I'll say. It's just like that in between. Streaming has caused this in between. It didn't start with. I didn't like for women. I don't think it started. It definitely didn't start with streaming. But if you're in a mainstream, like that in betweenness is just not there anymore. Like for instance, you either hot or you in the dumps. There's no okay, I can drop a dud. It's okay. I can come back from this. More so, hey, this album hot, this album not hot. It's very hard to come back from that. And that's what I think streaming has cut out artist development and basically made everything a fast track. And I don't like that. It's kind of like, okay, you just chilling and okay, you got a banger. Okay, cool. Now your life is changed upside down. You can't really afford to not stop putting out music or not stop or make a mid album and then you fall down in the dumps again. And one thing about female rappers now, they are really good about building core fan bases. I can say and that's why they're so different from the male counterparts in the mainstream sense for the most part. Because every female rapper, like big female rapper that I know in 2022, it's kind of like, okay, I know they have actual fans. They might not sell like super crazy or anything like that, but I know they have fans and I know they're gonna sell some shows.
Shows are way more important in 2022 than album sales at this point. So that's another reason why I don't know why people try to make that as big of a deal as it is. Like Meg didn't necessarily sell well, but Meg performed in Japan. Like I want to say I don't even think Drake can go perform in Japan, but that might just be me being biased. But I just can't really see them. Meg is like a public figure at this point, which is like she's bigger than rap. And like people like Sweetie, like she, people is talking about her not selling well for an EP, but she can she'll sell out a show anywhere. She has all these product endorsements because she had a McDonald's endorsement. Like a lot of these male rappers cannot do that. And then, male rappers will cancel shows because they didn't sell well. Like these women rappers don't have to do that. Flo Milli and Mana Leo just did a tour together and like they did very well because they have that fan base, and just a lot of these people don't.
Jemay, do you have any comments?
I definitely agree. Like even Glorilla, like she's going on tour next year, and like I kid you not, the tickets went on sale like a Friday at like 10 a.m. The concert the one that I'm going to literally sold out the same day. Like they literally had to upgrade the venue so that they could like some more people could go. Like it was just that crazy. And it's like you don't really see. I feel like Gorilla is a little bit different because I feel like she just had a crazy trajectory, like since since FNF came out. But like I guess you don't really see that a lot with a lot of artists anymore. Just in general, like you don't get that. So I don't know. And I think honestly, sometimes I think some of the girls or women in general kind of made me feel a little obligated to listen to women just because like I'm thinking about Don's analogy to the WNBA, and they're always like, feeling like women don't even watch it, which is a lie, number one. But I feel like too, it's kind of like sometimes I feel like I have to support Meg Thee Stallion because somebody's gonna call her trash, and I don't know, Lil Uzi Vert. Sorry to this man, but I don't want to listen to his music. So sorry to this man. I'm using an example as being trash, but he gets to exist and just put out what he wants, but she can't. And so sometimes I feel like I definitely have to support them. Like even if they do put out mid, because like it's okay. Like every song can't be a hit. Some of them you just kind of you play while you drive and you don't think nothing of it, or you play while you cleaning, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's important to kind of just support that stuff too because they should get to be mid. They should get to put out every song not gonna be a hit. So I don't know.
I agree with you, Jemay. And this is my final point for the episode ends. Sweetie made a point like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she delivered it wrong, but I know where she was coming from. The fun rap music, women are making the fun rap music that the genre is missing right now on a mainstream scale. It's just not getting pushed like the way it needs to. Like for instance, Cardi B made a point like a couple weeks ago, like a month ago, and she was like, yeah, the club doesn't really have fun music anymore. It's always a certain type of mainstream rap. And even though I do like that type of mainstream rap, like ain't no real dance songs, ain't no some like, okay, I can turn this on. It ain't no, I'm trying to find a word here. I can turn this on and kind of be like, okay, I can just have fun. Like, it don't have to be something I really have to like do anything about, or I gotta like listen to and just hear about niggas killing other niggas and everything like that. Even though I do be listening to violent rap music, so but that's one thing that I would like to say that I feel like the women are doing is they're making more fun music and more stuff like, okay, regardless of your I don't want to say gender, but they make more unisex music than people want to admit, and people always trash female rappers for like, oh, she talking about a pussy, I'm finna turn this off. Niggas do the same. Niggas do the exact same. But yeah, I feel like they make I feel like they're making the fun rap music that rap needs, and I appreciate that.
Niggas make songs about drugs niggas will never sell and things people have never seen, and they do not care. And all of a sudden, women rap about an experience they will never experience, and it's like, oh, I can't relate to this. Like, you can't relate to none of this. I know most niggas cannot relate to Newton, but it's hard. So it is what it is. So like the relatable thing, that has never made sense to me, because there are a lot of rappers that rap about things that would never resonate with me because I don't live that experience. Like, that's not what it's about. Like, Saba don't make music I can really resonate with because he be rapping about like, Chicago stuff, but it's like, it's good, so it doesn't matter.
Strongly agree. Strongly agree. Also, I do think women are holding down the fun music because I don't know. I don't remember. I can't think of the last time a man made a fun song. Like, I'm really trying to think. That wasn't like a specific dance song. And even I'm thinking about when like the last time I was in a club. It was a minute ago, but they always play throwback. Like the club is the littest when they're playing throwbacks. Like you get into your Dougies and all of that. Like that's the most fun. Like you very rarely, you might could play Tomorrow too in the club and it'll go up, but like I can't really think of nothing else that's super recent that's like, yeah, we're gonna drop this, I don't know, song, and it's gonna be fun,
if
and it's
niggas
not gonna make
if
people want to fight, you know?
if niggas like fun music as much as they say they do, I feel like a Duke Deuce would be bigger.
That's a great point because his music is fun. I do enjoy it.
Do I love. We don't have to do an episode on like the current state of Tennessee rap. So I'm gonna just say my thoughts on Duke Deuce on that. But I do love his music. But we gonna end with there. Donovan and Jemay, I appreciate y'all for hopping on. Next episode will probably be on a certain rapper. So everybody look out for that. Other than that, this is Grant with another episode of the Groovy Files. We out.